be good. Hello, friends. Good evening. My name is Kristen Elliott, the Food Bank Dietitian, and welcome to episode 37 of Pantry to Plate. We are coming to you from the Kaiser Permanente Learning Kitchen, and June is Pride Month. So I just wanted to share with you that it's important for us to recognize that 22% of adults who identify as LGBTQ plus live in poverty, and it makes their community twice as likely to experience hunger. And those numbers are even larger for youth and for our neighbors of color. So we want to recognize that there's a drastic difference between the needs in our population. So at the end of our episode, I'm going to share a link with you that has some resources where you can learn more about the experience and what you can do to support our neighbors. Okay, so we have a special guest today, and I'm super excited to invite him onto the screen. So we have Jarvis Glanton. He is a fellow food banker, my co-worker here at the Food Bank. Welcome, Jarvis.
Welcome. Well, thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Thank you for inviting me. Kind of excited. Well, I am excited to kind of introduce a couple of things that I like to just have around during the summertime. You know.
Absolutely.
Here to celebrate.
So our theme here is going to be some of Jarvis's favorite cold dishes for hot weather, right? We're going to be preparing for a Pride Pic-nic. Let's call it that.
Yeah. And so we're going to share 2 recipes with you that are really quick and easy. And guess what? They don't require you to actually have to cook it.
Which is fantastic when it's hot outside.
Correct.
Exactly.
So,
makes it even better.
Let's get started.
Cool. So the first thing that we're going to make today is?
We're going to make a sun-dried tomato pesto salmon pâté.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah, it is. So basically, you can just say a salmon pâté, but we're also going to incorporate some wonderful flavor with the sun-dried tomato and the pesto. So.
Fantastic. So for our friends out there who might not know or have never tried it, what is a pâté?
So a pâté is pretty much a paste. It is normally fatty meat or like organ type meats that have been cooked with a bunch of ingredients, wine, and congealed together with either gel or just the natural gelatinous of the actual organ meat. But today we're going to add in our own fats. And we're going to actually just take something that's already good itself, something that we've actually taken out of the can. I actually want to show you.
There it is.
We're using canned salmon. So no fret, no harm, no foul. You can use fresh if you want to, but saving a couple of pennies, you can go with the can and you won't be able to tell the difference.
And then you still will not have to cook anything,
and
right?
You still will not have to cook
It's cooked.
It's done, it's cooked, and once it's all out of the food processor or blender, depending on which one you choose to use, you just chill it and it's ready to go.
Cool. So basically, this is like a salmon salad, like a tuna salad, but like pureed, right?
Yeah. So basically,
it's like
you can take it think of a tuna salad or a salmon salad in a tuna form. And what we're going to do is we're going to make it real, real fine. We're going to give it like I said, that paste type of a look. And guess what? You're just going to have a beautiful end result that you can enjoy on the sandwich, on a piece of toasted bread, on crackers, just however you want. Okay.
All right, show us how to make it.
Let's get started.
Let's do it.
What we have is, again, canned salmon that we have taken out of the can. We have deboned, we de-skinned. We have half a cup of mayo, half a cup of sour cream and or Greek yogurt, depending on which one you use. Now, we're going to use the sour cream and or the Greek yogurt to kind of like tame the salt flavors in it, because sometimes canned salmon can tend to be salty. Now, the brand that we're using or the can that we're using today does not have a lot of salt in it, so it balances out well. So we're going to play with these two as we add them in. We have fresh lemon. We have some onion, some red onion that's just chopped. I have a mixture of fresh parsley, thyme, and lemon zest. We have some butter, and believe it or not, we have a boiled egg. So I didn't lie, but we did boil the egg. That's all. That's the only cooking involved. Okay? So how would we start this? So using either a blender or high-powered blender or a food processor. Today, I just so happen to have a food processor. What we're going to do is take our food processor and actually remove the top. And believe it or not, this is just going to go this quickly. We're going to take all of our ingredients with the salmon being last, the salmon and the butter being last, and we're going to just post this until it forms. And we're going to have a beautiful little puree. And it'll be ready to eat and enjoy. Either as is, or you can place it in the fridge.
So it doesn't have to set up in the fridge?
It depends on how your flavor, how you like to capture the flavor or the essence of it. So I prefer that it sits. Now, I have enjoyed it both ways. Either just taking it and eating it right then. It'll have a looser texture.
Yeah.
But if you take it and you actually place it in the refrigerator, chill it for at least an hour or so, all of those ingredients will bind together to give you an actual pasty form. And it'll be a little bit, I guess.
A little more solid?
A little bit more solid.
Yeah.
And you can more spreadable.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I love that because things that are hot taste different than things that are cold, right?
Yes.
So you can try it either way.
Correct. And once it gets to that initial chill, the flavors will really just permeate throughout. So
married together.
Correct. So
cool.
we're going to start. So what we're going to start with first is another thing. I guess you could say I'm cheating, but really not. You can make your own pesto. But again, we're going the easy route today. It is summer, it's hot. So we're going to take pesto and you can use this to your discretion. And we're just going to place it in the food processor at the bottom.
But how much you think?
So I will tell you that as you're doing this to go by taste, but this is more like about maybe
a couple tablespoons.
Maybe?
Yeah.
Yes. And I'm also going to do the same thing. Sorry.
Oh, good.
With the sun-dried pesto. Now, I had some sun-dried tomatoes, but I forgot them. But guess what? Luckily enough, I also had the sun-dried pesto, which works just as fine.
Yep.
And we're going to do equal amounts. Thereabout, we should be good.
So I've definitely seen pesto in a food pantry before.
Yes.
And in our inventory.
Yeah. So
as far as sun-dried tomatoes, though, I'm not sure, but it's tomato season, right?
Correct. And the thing is, there's so much you can do with a pesto. Like you can add it to your mayo to actually to make a sauce, to do a whole bunch of stuff with. Yeah. You can just boil you some linguine, some spaghetti, and just actually take this pesto. I mean, it's like a beautiful burst of flavor in your mouth. So,
and it's concentrated.
Yes. So I suggest that you try pesto. It is more than just what you think.
And if you don't have sun-dried tomatoes, it's not too hard to make it at home, especially because it's summertime and there's going to be a lot of tomatoes available pretty soon. You can make them in your oven. I don't know the temperature off the top of my head, but it's low and slow. Because you want them to
175.
Yeah, right. And then you're just basically dehydrating them in the oven, and then you can store them in
a jar, last jar.
And with olive oil.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And then they will be good. They'll just be good to go.
And you can make your own, like you just said, your own sun-dried tomatoes. So
cool.
With those two ingredients added, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our onion. Just make sure that it just is incorporated all throughout the actual bowl of the food processor. Then I'm going to take my fresh herb mixture here.
So we're putting the more coarse, tough things
at the bottom because they will actually grind first.
That makes sense. It's kind of like making a smoothie too.
Correct.
You put the tough things
at the bottom
first.
Then we're going to go in with our first sprig of lemon juice. Then I am going to incorporate the boiled egg. Just add it in. Next will be the star of the show, the beautiful canned salmon. And just be careful not to get it all over the counter, but we're going to just get it in evenly. Okay?
Did you put some seasoning on top of that?
So yes, I did. I forgot to mention that.
No
but
worries.
I did. I took this Italian blend that has no salt, and I actually just put it on top of it because, again, you don't want too much salt because the salmon itself will give you that salty flavor, and you have the pesto, so you don't want too much salt. And there we have it. So the next thing that we're going to do.
That looks so pretty.
Right? It looks so like a salad almost.
It does look like a 7 layer.
Yeah.
We got like 4 layers. 4 layers.
The next thing we're going to do, and then again, the recipe calls for like a half a cup of mayo, half a cup of sour cream, and or Greek yogurt. But I tell people too, when they're making this, you decide, because a lot of people may not like things a certain way. So you decide how much. I think that for this particular case, I'm going to be good with this half a cup. And for those of you who are like, oh, that's a lot, it really is not. And then you're like, oh, well, the bowl is full. But when you start to puree and pulse this, you will see that we're doing really good right now.
And like, as you described earlier, a pate really is about fat.
Yeah.
So if you needed to and you wanted to, you could choose a low fat mayo and like a Greek yogurt in place.
So for this,
sour cream, that's right. Yes.
So in this case, I wouldn't do the light mayo. I would just go full sour cream. Sour cream is a little lighter than mayo and less salty, but no light mayo.
Could you do full fat Greek yogurt?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, full fat Greek yogurt.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
So now that we have done that, I'm going to do my last sprig of lemon juice.
Yum.
And this is one of those times where if you have the seed, get in, it's going to work just like you do lemon zest. It will not hurt, harm, or anything because you're going to pulverize everything. I have 3 tablespoons of butter. And this has been at room temperature to help to emulsify. And I'm going to take my gloves off. And I am just going to top it with some fresh ground black pepper. So now we are ready to pulse. Sorry.
All good.
And I thank Kristen for being my handy dandy little sous chef, even though I'm her sous chef this week.
You got it. I can be in the driver's seat. I can also be a really great passenger driver.
So I don't know if you can see this, but if you can,
we can see it. Yep, okay. Straight overhead.
So just attach the actual bucket to the actual blades, whisk, and my settings are high, low, off, and pulse. Now, what I want to do first is I just want to go really fast. I want to make sure that my blade is in and attached well, so it's already chopping the ingredients at the bottom. Now that I've assured that, I want to just go. And here, now that I kind of see that everything is already incorporated, what I want to do is just to make sure that everything is. So I'm going to take the same little spatula that I used earlier, and I want to just wipe down the blades. And what you're looking for is just to see that everything is kind of incorporated and emulsified a little bit.
Get all the little bits stuck.
Get all the little bit that's at the top. And you want to also go down to the bottom just in case there is something that maybe missed the blade that may be a little gritty or hardy. So it actually has a wonderful texture now. Actually, this is a texture that one of my best friends like. Like this is where I would probably stop.
That looks like what I would like too. Yes. Yeah. I like to have a little bit of like that mouth.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do here, and based on the spatula, everything is really just kind of perfect. And that comes from putting it on hot and doing that pulsing at the beginning. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to return the attachment, and I'm going to just go low. Double check, and I still have that perfect consistency. And actually, believe it or not, this is done. This is done.
That simple.
This is.
You only had to chop the onion.
I had to chop the onion. I boiled an egg. So again, I did cook something, but I boiled the egg, chopped the egg, cut a lemon in half, zested it, and like all of these fresh ingredients and these beautiful flavors are just going to actually just sing like when you taste it. So that's perfect. Oh yeah, that's good. That's good. That's really good. So here's the tricky part for me, and that is getting it out. Thank you. So what I'm going to do, holding the actual blade in place, I'm just going to pour it into my dish. And I'm hoping that you can really see the texture of this. Like, look at that. So just think if this was like a.
Let's see. Yeah, you can see it from overhead.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see the texture of it.
So that's at room temperature. And of course, you know, in the world of food and preparing, we have one that's already made. So this is one that has sat.
Oh yeah, you can see.
And see how loose this is.
You can see the difference
and
in
they're
that.
perfectly, they're the same thing. This has just sat, and look at how stiff and how pasty it is. Like this is the pasty warm side, and this is the cool down version.
You know what this reminds me of?
It kind of looks like a queso dip or something like that.
It also looks like Thousand Island dressing.
Dressing. Okay.
No, but I love it. I love
Okay.
the texture, like a Thousand Island dressing. So that's what it reminds me of.
There you have it, a salmon pâté, something quick.
Fantastic.
And the beautiful thing is, if you don't like salmon, or guess what, you can use tuna, and you can also use canned chicken. Both of those will work for this recipe.
Nice.
Okay.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. So we've got a savory dip / spread for our picnic. So now I think we need to talk about dessert, right? I think it's only right that we make a dessert for this picnic.
Like who? It's summertime. People want something sweet. They want something cool. And again, this is another recipe.
You can just slide them out. There you go.
This is another recipe that actually requires no cooking. It's just a lot of stirring, whipping, and you're going to hear the term folding. So Kristen and I are going to work simultaneously here to actually, I'm going to clean them.
You're gonna get the salmon off the countertop before we introduce the sweet things.
So we're going to work simultaneously here, and what we are about to make for you guys is a strawberry coconut tres leche trifle. Now, I attended a particular party, Pampered Chef actually, and I actually went just to get like the free prizes and stuff. And
As you do.
the hostess of the party actually had a Pampered Chef representative there, and the representative made this particular trifle for us. And I have been making it since. So that tells you how easy it is. It's quick, and I can tell you that if anything that I've ever made or served, this has always been a hit, and people are always asking for more. So what do we have to do? We have to take some coconut milk, sweetened condensed milk.
That's 2 milks.
We will use a packet of instant vanilla pudding. Don't judge. Trust me, it's going to work out in the end. We're going to use sour cream. So believe it or not, these 3 ingredients here will be our quote-unquote tres leches part here. Very quick. we're going to use a store-bought angel food cake. Like, okay. I actually cut some earlier to prepare for this. But you can use lady fingers, you can use pound cake, you can use whatever kind of delicate like pastry that isn't overpowering, something no more than like a vanilla or almond flavor, because if you go too wild, it's going to take away from the flavor of the tres leches here. So angel food cake. I did try using it with some chestnut cookies before. It turned out perfectly. A little bit sweeter than it should have, but it turned out perfectly.
Oh, and I'm imagining like banana pudding texture.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Because like my niece, for instance, she's like, "Oh, this is like a strawberry banana pudding."
Okay. Oh.
That's how she prefers it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, if that's how it works for you, we're gonna go with that.
Yeah.
And
that's a great way to describe it.
We have some strawberries. We are also using Cool Whip. Again, wait, you'll see. It's going to be fabulous. And I think we're ready to go. So,
all right, chef, tell me what I'm doing.
So, Kristen, what I would like for you to do is, with, again, these two, the coconut milk and the sweetened condensed milk has two purposes here. One is going to make our tres leches
the sauce
or soaking liquid for our angel food cake. So I've already separated, and this is 2/3 a cup of the sweetened condensed milk.
Okay.
And I have separated 2/3 of the coconut milk.
So we're gonna use the rest of it later.
Yes.
Okay.
So once you incorporate the coconut milk, we're going to actually add a whole cup of sour cream. And, you know, I'm one of those people, I like to make things easier for myself. So I just buy the 8-ounce packages. That's exactly what I need. I need a cup. So we're going to actually just incorporate a room temperature cup of
that is room temperature.
Sour cream to the mix. Actually, Kristen, go ahead.
That makes more sense.
Whisk that together. Now, originally this recipe calls for cinnamon. I'm not a big cinnamon person unless it's like in, what do I like cinnamon in? I can't even.
Do you like cinnamon rolls?
Actually, believe it or not, no, I don't.
Okay.
I like the cinnamon sticks in like tea or hot chai or something like that. So what I'm going to do, we're going to just take a teeny bit of almond extract. Don't laugh, but this is going to go real far. Just a tinge of almond extract.
Boop.
And
I smell it.
That's our tres leches.
Yum. All right.
And while she's doing that, or I'm going to ask Kristen to actually complete this by taking the cut pieces of our angel food cake, and she's just going to take these and dump them into the mixture.
All of it?
All of it.
Okay. Oh, this cake is so fluffy.
And we're just going to actually fold or just toss them lightly in this tres leches while we actually prepare the pudding.
Okay, that's what this one's for.
Yeah. So, with that remaining coconut milk and sweetened condensed milk, I am going to take this wonderful package of instant pudding. And I'm going to take my coconut milk and I'm going to whisk. And I know you're like, that's not a lot, but hold on, we're going to get there. So we want to whisk this until we get a very thick kind of mixture.
It just looks like custard immediately.
Yeah, it does, right? Like it's just like instantly yellow. Instant sunshine almost.
It really is.
So we're going to whisk this together. Now, we're going to take the remaining sweetened condensed milk and we're going to just drizzle it Now, this part is a little tricky because you want to make sure that you get all of that condensed milk out of the can. And it is very thick. So I still have a lot in there. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take a little, actually let me use that spatula. And I am going to force the remaining out. Yeah, help me out, Kristen.
You good?
I'm not sure if I'm in the camera's
You
eye.
are.
Okay. So I've gotten as much out of there as I possibly can.
I'm gonna take this out your way.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to continue to just whisk.
This all smells amazing.
So
I smell the coconut,
you smell
and then
coconut.
I smell the vanilla.
And the funny thing is, I didn't realize until I started making this how A, universal coconut milk is, and B, that it actually has a very wonderful fragrance to it, like really fragrant. So going in with my secret weapon again, and again, this is pure almond extract, and we're just going to go with another drop. And this is exactly why I preface before, when you buy your cake or whatever, you want something that's spongy, something that's light, something universal that has like a vanilla kind of feel, or even a non-flavored feel, because you could, if you did this with like a lemon pound cake or something like that, these other flavors would be
you're gonna be fighting. Yeah, I could totally see that.
So we're gonna whisk this, right? And I have a nice even consistency, like the actual pudding. I can tell that it has incorporated itself with the sweetened condensed milk and the coconut milk. So we're good here. Now, how do we take this and make these lovely puffy clouds? So I'll take this from Kristen.
Oh, I know what we're doing.
So that wonderful Cool Whip that we mentioned earlier. This is at room temperature, or it has, just been sitting out of the refrigerator, because you can't do it frozen. If you do it frozen, try to do it frozen, you won't get the actual texture that you're looking for. So I'm making sure that I get as much of the mixture off of the whisk. I think that's about it.
You got it.
So I'm going to ask that you do this at your own discretion, meaning you add as much or as little as you want. This is the larger canister of the Cool Whip. If you get the regular size, you want to basically take half and fold it and fold it. I typically like to buy, for this particular recipe, the larger size, because I can get more volume and I can spread it out a little bit more to have a very large or good trifle. So see how fluffy that is? And we're going to just take that, and we're going to do this probably about twice. And what you want to do is you're going to incorporate this together by folding it, not stirring. So what I mean by that, we're going to take and we're going to just wrap it around each other.
Perfect.
And we're going to wrap this until it just incorporates, and it's going to look like just like little white clouds. Stirring it will take away the air, which will deflate the whole thing, which you won't have a pudding, it'll just be lax.
It'll just be like extra creamy.
Correct. This way you're actually like, hey, it's going to give you like a cloud kind of a feel. And we're just going to fold this until evenly, and again, till we have like a very light yellow, kind of off-white, kind of a consistent color.
So you're basically just taking the spatula and you're stirring it from the outside.
Yes,
and then you just flip it over.
So I am actually going to add a little bit more Cool Whip. And don't be afraid to take this and we are going to reserve some of this for later, believe it or not.
For the top?
Yes.
This reminds me of one of my favorite TV show episodes. When they're talking about folding it, and you're like, how do I fold it? Like, I don't know, you just fold it. You're like, what do you mean? I go like this and like this.
So believe it or not, speaking of the whole pampered chef story, that's where I learned to fold, how to fold. And I actually won like a whole bamboo set because I was able to
You
fold.
had the best folding skills. Fantastic.
And that was the first time I folded.
So this is just really important when you're working with something that you have either you have incorporated air into it, or you're using the Cool Whip that's like already fluffy. That is beautiful.
And the other thing is like you would think that this heavy pudding is like deflating this Cool Whip. It's not. It's actually like they're actually very homogeneously working together, and you can be like, oh wow. So now I get why my niece is like, oh, is this like just a strawberry banana pudding or something like that. So, and we're almost there. As you can see, we have like a kind of a cake batter kind of color. And I think that we have it.
That looks beautiful.
So we don't have a high trifle dish today, but what we are going to do, I'm going to wash my hands.
There we go. I think I have all of our components ready to go.
So,
cool.
Here we go. You might want to get some gloves, Kristen, because this is very kind of sticky and it's worth it in the end.
Ready.
I'm struggling a little bit.
Like when you have to do it, sometimes it's like the only time you can.
Yeah. So I am going to take on the task of I will create the layers. And then you can do the strawberry and the fluff.
The fluff. There you go. So
I couldn't get it out. So basically,
the
order here, you want to start with. I mean, I've even seen people. The very first layer is a layer of the strawberries, but we want to make sure that we get that in every layer. We're not going to do that here, but you want to start with your cake mixture, your tres leches, so to speak. And we're just going to start with the even layer at the bottom, and we're going to build high. So we have our first layer down, and now I will ask Kristen to just
some strawberries.
Yeah. So what I like to do is kind of go around the edges so that you can see. And then, yeah. And then we just put some in the middle.
Okay.
Just a few.
That good?
That's good.
Cool.
And now we want to go with this beautiful mixture that we've created here and just dollop it because we want to cover the whole thing.
More?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm always worried that I'm going to use too much at the bottom and then you won't have
like, and that's like, because what I try to see, and the one thing I've learned to do is like, this is kind of forgiving in a sense because I always stop. Because I'm like, oh, okay, I need to use less at the bottom. And then I get to the top and I'm like, ugh.
And then you have too much.
Yeah. So.
How's that? Do I need more?
Good. That
okay.
looks good. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to go in with the second layer. Okay. And this is going to be fun because you're actually kind of encapsulating strawberries on the bottom.
Are we going to put the strawberries in the middle?
Yes.
Nice. Oh, we did sugar the strawberries.
Yes.
So they have a little bit of juice starting from the sugar,
and
pulling the water out.
And if you see that sugar, don't fret. Don't fret. It's all part of the game, and actually, it's going to give you more flavor. So
I'm putting it.
Yeah.
Just in the middle.
Yeah, you can just go through the middle, and I'm going to do a little on the side.
Okay. Even. Okay. And then around the edges so we can see it, right?
Yeah. And there's no like rhyme or reason. I mean, you can spend a whole bunch of time trying to make this pretty, but the mere thing is it's going to taste good. And now we want to go in with the extra. Yeah.
Like when you
go for the gusto here. Because this layer is a little bit lighter.
Mm-hmm.
And again, if we had an actual traditional trifle bowl or high cylinder style type bowl, the layers would be about 3 to 4.
Other side without.
That's good.
How's that, Chef?
That's good. That's good. So now I'm going to go in with our final layer of our cake.
These moments of silence as we build. No, it's like precious. You're like, ah.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to step away from the camera just a little bit because I'm going to cut another piece of our cake just to soak for a second. And
that last quarter of the angel food cake. Yeah, just cutting it into slices, just like we had here.
See, this mixture and the texture of this cake, it doesn't take long. So if you feel like you don't have enough of the cake and you have your mixture here, it could take you a long way. And look, we have the same texture, we have the same result.
It really is important for the cake part to be light,
yes,
right? So
correct.
It will absorb
so
really
that it
easily.
Will, because it's going to pull all these other flavors that we have here.
Can you use other fruit in this?
So I did use some blueberries.
Mm-hmm.
I used banana.
Mm-hmm.
The banana worked best, but I just find that it's probably just easier to just stick with the strawberry.
Okay.
One thing that I did try, I tried frozen strawberries. The trick is to defrost them very, very well and let them drain.
That was my follow-up question. Yeah.
Like if you use the strawberry, the frozen ones, just let them drain.
Can I just put all of them?
Yes.
Okay. This is our final.
Yeah, this is our final
layer. Yeah, that was my follow-up. We could use the frozen. That makes sense though. They just can't be too wet.
Yeah. Pull this a little closer to you.
I do have the short arms. There we go. It's pretty much covered there.
So now I'm going to ask Kristen to just take these remaining strawberries, and she's just going to go in the center here for me.
All right.
So what I am going to do at this point, I have a napkin.
Oh, I know what's happening.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this wet napkin and I'm going to go across the edges just like so, just to clean off the bowl. And this is not harming anything. You can use a towel or whatever the case, but make sure the towel is clean.
Yeah.
So now we have our handy dandy Cool Whip that was left over. And we're going to just take this and we're just going to top. Okay. And I love a rubber spatula because they're so just like versatile. And people always wonder like, oh, I can't get everything out of the jar. Get you a rubber spatula. Like a rubber spatula will literally.
It'll do everything you need it to do.
I think outside of when I got me a food processor and a spatula, like those are kind of like my
key
favorite.
kitchen gadgets.
Yes. Like a good frying pan, no. I want something that I can get everything out the jar with.
Beautiful.
So we have this, and believe it or not, we're not done.
I mean, we have to make it beautiful, right?
So just to give it a little bit of panache and like we tried and we put in a lot of effort, we have some strawberries that we reserved, and we're just going to take these and just garnish them around the top. It doesn't have to be perfect.
So we just like cut those into quarters. They were huge. They were huge strawberries.
And you can just create your own design. Who knows? Just go with the flow.
Yep. Wherever they fit.
Yeah. So there we have
Ta-da!
a strawberry tres leches trifle. Now, the key to this is to let it refrigerate for at least an hour. That way the pudding stiffens a little bit more. And, you know, in the perfect world, we already have one made. So here's what the final result looks like. This one has chilled for at least 3 or 4 hours. And see your layers here? Can you see the layers?
Yeah, you can see them on the left camera.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there you have it. Strawberry tres leches trifle. And trust me, any barbecue, picnic, holiday, family get together, this right here will literally sing and people will like think that you slaved all day. And you really did.
We just allow them to think that.
You can let them think that.
We put in the effort for you, for this barbecue, for this picnic.
Yeah. Now, I will say this, though. I have learned that when I do make this for people or when I make it for an event, I can't go with one.
Okay.
I have to at least have to.
Okay.
I will give you
It is that much.
that bit of advice before. You have to have at least 2. So.
Nice.
Okay. Well, thank you, Kristen.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate you having me.
This was so fun to learn from you, Jarvis. So in the world, there are eaters and there are feeders. Jarvis is a feeder because he's always feeding people at the food bank. It's someone's birthday, he's going to cook something at home or make it here in between meetings. And he's always feeding people. So it just felt only right.
Well, I appreciate you.
So have you share some of your favorites with us?
And look, this is stuff that I didn't actually have to turn on the stove and cook. So that's actually.
We'll just have you back, and then we'll do something else where you actually have to cook.
In the kitchen for me. Like this is just putting something.
The vacation in the kitchen.
But that's what the summer's about. It's hot, so you don't want to turn the stove on. So.
Exactly.
Thank you again, and I hope you guys enjoy these recipes. Try them out, and again, words of advice: literally make at least 2 of these.
Double it up. So you can find Jarvis's recipes in the link on the bottom of the screen. I'll have them in a Word document there so you can make them. And we'll see you in a couple weeks for our next episode of Pantry to Plate. Thanks so much, Jarvis, for being here.
I appreciate you guys.
Happy Pride.
Happy Pride, love.